Welcome to Angels Talk, Soul Relationships. Here's your host, Sandra Lynch.
We are in another divine appointment here today.
Awesome.
On a fun-filled episode of Angels Talk. And I'm so honored and so excited. And I'm going to call everyone in to watch this, okay?
Great.
Good. Thank you all again for taking your time to stop, look, and listen in our divine appointment here today. I am Sandra and so honored and excited again to be here with the one, the only one, Pamela, help me out.
Blevins Hinkle.
Blevins Hinkle. And we have crossed paths where? In Indianapolis, in the Center City. We're at the new Sheridan Hotel in the Center City, Indianapolis, on planet. And let's see, what else? We met last night at the final dress performance of the
Indianapolis Women's Chorus performances this coming weekend as part of the Spirit and Place Festival in Indianapolis.
Wow. Tell everybody a little bit about this. Tell everybody the history of it. How did it happen?
Of Spirit and Place, or
Yes.
the Women's Chorus? Well, the Spirit and Place Festival is an event that's utterly unique to the city of Indianapolis. There's not anything like it anywhere else in the United States. A lot of cities have arts and humanities festivals, but what makes ours really distinctive is our inclusion of religion as one of our three key pillars.
Like blending spirituality and public service.
Exactly.
Oh, yes.
So every year the festival explores a theme through creative collaborations between arts organizations and faith-based institutions and civic and educational institutions. And this is part of the magic. I often talk about the festival as a pitch-in dinner. You know, we extend the invitation, set the theme, and then the community brings all this remarkable and creative programming to the table for the community to partake. I'm one of two staff people for the festival, but we don't sit around dreaming all these things up. What's really magical about it is that it's very grassroots, so the relevancy around these themes really arises from our community organizations, and they express that through their spirituality or through the arts and music or through socially relevant topics. This year's festival, the theme is Living Generously.
Oh.
And that topic is being expressed through over 50 different topics. So there are a bunch of programs about earth care and how we live generously with the earth. There was a program about a knitting ministry and what a great resource that is for a community of people to come together and make something creatively with their spirit and to pray over it and to send that out into the world and what that is. So there are other programs on prayer, and it's just it's a very special endeavor.
Before we go any farther, I know everyone is excited to hear about this new coming, and I call it abundance on our planet. We're going to step away from here and go over to this final dress rehearsal and start out this show with just taking us there to allow them to sit into that experience. Do you mind?
Not at all.
Take time to stop, look, and listen. Amazing. I feel so connected with this. And that was at the Park Tudor School?
Yes, the Park Tudor School, which is at 71st and College in Indianapolis.
That is a ritual of every one of the shows that you direct. I mean, you were wearing many halos last night. You were directing musically, stage-wise, everything. It's the power, just like, was multitasking. And so was everyone else, as I saw them continuing to step in and out. Talk a little bit about that sacred moment that I just shared.
Well, you know, we gathered together, this community of women, not just because we love to sing, although we do love to sing, but we do it for a reason. And there's great power in joining together, and we become something else when we join our voices together in a common purpose. And so our mission for the Indianapolis Women's Chorus, which is about building bridges and reaching out into the community and promoting acceptance of the gay, lesbian, bisexual, and transgender community, we really need to, before we go into performance, remind ourselves as a community what this means and why we're all there. So that ritual, and you know, if you're a performer, that week before a concert is crazy. You know, you're thinking about, do I have my music memorized, and where do I move now, and when's the curtain coming up, and where's the microphone, and you can get distracted very quickly by the freneticness that goes with preparing a production. So it really gives us a chance to, in the performing hall, the place that we're going to be, to present that, to focus our own energy into the right place, to remind us why we as individuals are gathered to sing, why we as a community of women have worked so hard to this point. And you know, it also gives us an opportunity to really, in a way, to bless the space that we're in. We go into these wonderful performing venues like Park Tudor, which is a really wonderful partner for us in this venture. We've never worked with them before, and they've just been so gracious and generous, and we're soaking up all that youthful energy that has gone through that building for all these decades, and we're also wanting to leave, you know, something of our own energy there when we're done. So the ritual gives us just this great holy moment for us where we can be present to that spirit of our mission and of each person, and also to acknowledge, you know, that it takes every single one of those sparks of those 40 women to make that happen.
Yes, and I want to show more of that spark because, like one of the songs that you were singing, everything has its season. I love that song. I love that song. I was actually singing it as I was recording.
Oh, fantastic!
It. And so I'm going to take us from here and go there to share some of this beauty, the wonder, the abundance of last night's final dress performance with the Indianapolis Women's Chorus. So sit back and watch some more. Oh my goodness. I couldn't sit in my seat, and I hope you don't mind me singing along with that last night. Do I have to audition to belong to this course?
Actually, you do.
You do?
You do, yeah.
And how does that happen?
We have auditions once or twice a year, and it's actually a very unique audition. We try to make it as painless as possible.
Well, one thing I saw last night was, we're going to go here after I tell everyone what I saw, was a 3-part song called, or maybe it wasn't called, Little Voice?
Yes.
Tell me just a little bit about that. Tell our viewers a little bit about that before we go there.
Sure. Well, it was actually written by the chorus member who sings the solo. And this is a really unique aspect of the women's chorus. We just started this a couple years ago where, You know, all of us have creative energy, and a lot of choirs are busy singing other people's music. But we have a lot of gifted people in our chorus, we were discovering. So now we've been very conscientious in trying to cultivate that creative spark in people and giving them an outlet to create original music, or theater pieces, or skits, or whatever, monologues, poetry.
It's wonderful.
And we're starting to incorporate that in all of our concerts. It's really cool.
Little voice, I've got a little voice. It's very hard to hear. It's not quite clear what I'm singing. Little voice, wish that I had a choice. Wish I could sing nice and loud, stand out from the crowd, but it's no use. I try to sing like I do when I'm alone, full of volume and power and beautiful tone. But the music starts and they look at me, and my mighty soprano ends up to be a little voice, the same old little voice. My heart pounds, my hands shake, my stomach starts to take that trip down to my toes. La la. We're together, and I am learning to trust the women here when they say that my singing is music to their ears. Even though I'm afraid, I know I can try to sing by myself, and I just might not die. Little voice, it's growing, little voice, it's getting stronger and proud, a tiny bit loud. Look at you go. Add your voice, your shining singing voice. You found your place in the choir, your dreams will inspire, you're right where you should be. My little voice and me.
Hello, we're back again. Thank you for watching. We're so honored that you are honored and very gentle with the process of that song. It was just so sacred and special.
Very.
Yes. What is the name of this? What is the theme of this show?
Well, the show is called All God's Critters Got a Place in the Choir. It's actually inspired by a song by folk singer Bill Staines. And it fits very nicely in with the Spirit and Place Festival theme of living generously, because all the music is about all of us carrying the desire to be accepted in communities that are loving and generous, whether that's a community in general or congregations or however you define that community.
Oh, magnificent. I'd like to go next and show everyone, or share with everyone, the short story by our young angel. I'm going to say young angel because she looks so angelic up there, telling that short story of her life and how real that plays into part of the women's chorus. What was her name?
Nan Brooks?
Nan Brooks. If you don't mind, can we share some of that in today's
Absolutely.
episode? Okay, stand by. We're flying. We're going to Nan Brooks. Here she is. What is that story?
That's all. It might help explain how confused I was when just after I turned 30, I discovered two things at once and had no idea what to do about either of them. I had been married since age 22, and yes, it was a little too young. My husband and I had two sons. They were 7 and 5, when one morning as he left for work, My husband told me that he had never loved me and he wanted a divorce. The bottom fell out of my world. I really would not have been surprised to find myself sitting on the basement floor. It was the early 70s. A few months later, when that shock wore off, I had another because I realized that I had fallen in love with my best friend, a woman. The early 70s in central Indiana. For those of you who weren't even born yet, it was a rather strange time. We had been through the 60s, though I think most of us covered our heads and tried to pretend the 60s had never happened. I didn't know any lesbians. I had never seen the word lesbian in print. I had never heard the word spoken aloud. I had heard it whispered in rumors. And when a word has to be whispered, well, I was awash in shame. I used to write letters to my friend while the kids were at school. I would tell her that she was beautiful and smart and clever and funny and beautiful. I'd tell her that I wanted to hold her in my arms. That's all. I couldn't even imagine anything else. Then I would tear the letters up into tiny little pieces and burn them. And then I would sift the ashes to be sure nothing was left. I could not give away my terrible secret because I knew I would lose my beautiful sons. I needed help. I could trust no one. So I got books from the library, hoping no one could trace just who had borrowed them. And a couple of books actually said that there was nothing sinful or unhealthy about heterosexual men. But what about the women? There were no women doctors I knew of, no doctors, lawyers, merchants, or chiefs who were women, no women's studies programs, no women's health centers, no battered women's shelters, certainly no women's festivals. But at a local bookstore, I found a section marked Women. Who knew? There was one woman who worked there and who would wander through the women's sections, say hello to me, suggest a book. She smiled a lot and looked me in the eye with a particularly direct gaze.
It's alright, gonna cry, close your eyes to heaven. You no longer need to fight, life has always been there. There's a hand on your shoulder, and her arms hold you fast, but your heart's
You know, Nan's one of our many remarkable members. She's a decades veteran, a professional actress, and we're very gifted to have her with us. And in fact, she did a stunning piece for a recent production that we had called Spirit Matters, which will very shortly be on tour. Actually, it's already has been touring to a few congregations. It's a really remarkable show that we did called Spirit Matters, which about half the show included original material by the chorus members, all arising out of their own spiritual journeys. And our chorus is magnificently diverse. We have women of every spiritual stripe that you can imagine. And so we combine those original pieces with other works, including some that are on this concert that we're doing in November, to create a really beautiful look at all these journeys, and hopefully providing everybody with a lens to see other points of view, as well as to reflect their own experiences, and to show that it's a very, while a very personal and distinct journey, you know, there are a lot of threads that connect us in that journey.
Oh, Pamela, all I can think of is the vision of Angels at God Central Station, one world, one dream in the spirit of unity. And it's time to go. Can you believe we've had another fun episode of Angels Talk in our soul relationship here today? Would you help me end the show?
I would be happy to.
I'll go ahead and add some more music from the Indianapolis Women's Chorus. Oh, and we're going to say thanks to all of our people for stopping by to look and listen to another episode of Angels Talk in our soul relationship. I'm Sandra, here with the one, the only one, the fantabulous one, Pamela.
Pam Blevins-Hinkle.
You know, Jen Angel Chick told me your last name. I said, I'm going to let Pam help me with that one. And so we're all here to say, I didn't tell you what the secret is. You know what the secret is?
I have no idea. Say that again.
Divine love and holy kisses.
I love it.
I do this. And everyone does what they want.
Okay, so
we did it.
We did it?
Yeah, we did it. Isn't
awesome.
that fabulous?
Yeah.
See you next time. How about coming on Calling All Angels Hotline, my 1-hour live show?
That would be exciting.
Oh,
I love it.
yes, we get calls from as far as the Netherlands on that one.
Do you really?
Yes.
Oh, exciting.
Geffen Records call too.
No way.
Yay, way!
All right.
We'll see you there, okay?
Absolutely.
See you there. Thanks for watching.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Fred Duncan, board chair for Indie Choruses, and I don't yet have a script, but I like to talk, so you'll be really fortunate if you even get to hear the women sing tonight, because I could blather on and on and on for hours on end. Some of you are sitting in there knowing that I could blather on and on and on, and you'd really like it. Sometimes I would just shut up. But I will eventually thank our sponsors, and I'll talk about that. I'll talk about the Spirit in Place Festival and how what a great honor it is for us to be part of the Spirit in Place Festival. And then I will eventually stop talking and go away and let the women sing, which is what you came here for. So, can I go away now and let the women sing?
Yes, you may go away now and let the women sing. And the final candle, which is hard to let him get into this is the center candle. And I like this to ignite that which we are about to be. Our individual voices
all together. Okay, we'll go back on record. We got a little pink Scout. I don't know if you see too many of these at one time or not, but two little harvesters standing together here. And we get back into Chevrolets again. Looks like a DeSoto of some kind, Chrysler product to be sure. It's one that they have quit making, and got the doors open on it, a little Pontiac right next to it.